Right now on 44 News Tonight, here's a look at some of the top stories that we're following. Late breaking tonight, investigators are learning more about the shooter of the Catholic school in Minneapolis as communities gather to mourn the loss of the young victims.
Two were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass when they were shot and killed.
In the wake of the school shooting in Minneapolis, local law enforcement are reinforcing their protocols to keep our tri-state students safe, how they're protecting your kids. And a new aquatic center has opened its doors to the tri-state, how leaders are celebrating the completion of this new facility.
Well, the wonderful weather continues, and we're going to get another front coming through. With that, we'll see a reinforcing area of northerly winds, which means it's going to continue to be drier. We'll have more on that coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is 44 News at 9.
The first one, I was like, what is that? I thought it was just something. Then when I heard it again, I just ran under the pew. And then I covered my head. My friend Victor, saved me, though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
Late breaking tonight, those words you just heard are from a 10-year-old fifth grader. The boy was among a group of kids at Unification Catholic School in Minneapolis who were shot at. At least 2 kids are dead and 17 others are injured following the mass shooting. The FBI is now investigating the deadly shooting at a Catholic church in Minneapolis as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime. Usher Qureshi has more, but we do want to warn you that some of these images from the scene are hard to watch.
A solemn morning mass was shattered by gunfire when a shooter armed with multiple weapons killed 2 children and injured 17 people. Authorities say the suspect died by suicide. Annunciation Catholic Church turned to chaos Wednesday morning when a shooter opened fire during Mass. The church is on the same grounds of a school that bears its name, home to pre-K through 8th grade. Police say the suspect fired dozens of rounds through church windows. 2 children aged 8 and 10 were fatally shot while they sat in the church pews. 14 children and 3 adult parishioners were also wounded but are expected to survive.
The dozens of officers that responded to this scene, many of them are deeply traumatized by what they saw.
10-year-old Weston Halsney was seated near the stained glass windows when the shots rang out.
My friend Victor, saved me, though, because he laid on top of me.
Police identified the shooter as 23-year-old Robin Westman. Law enforcement says Westman acted alone and had no criminal history. The Archbishop of St. Paul in Minneapolis shared a message from Pope Leo XIV.
And he sends his heartfelt condolences and the assurance of spiritual closeness to all those affected by this terrible tragedy.
A vigil was held for the victims Wednesday night, but city leaders say thoughts and prayers are not enough.
I think the impetus has to be on all of us as leaders to do a whole lot more.
The nation's latest school shooting is likely to reignite the debate over gun control. The chief of police says the shooter legally purchased the rifle, shotgun, and pistol that were recovered at the scene. Usher Qureshi, CBS News, Minneapolis.
And President Trump did sign a proclamation recognizing the shooting victims and is calling for flags to be lowered to half staff at federal facilities until August 31st. Along with President Trump, Indiana Governor Mike Braun has also ordered all flags at state buildings to be at half staff for the victims. And new tonight, investigators are working to understand what may have driven a shooter to open fire this morning on that church. The suspect, Robin Westman, graduated from Unification's grade school in 2017, according to a yearbook photo. But here's what we learned at this hour about the suspect. Police say the shooter had a posted manifesto that was timed to be published on YouTube. In the videos, 2 of which were titled with Westman's full name, the person recording the video pages through a handwritten notebook and displays a shooting target with an image of Jesus and a collection of guns, magazines, and ammunition all laid out on a bed. In 2019, the suspect's mother filed to legally change the suspect's name from Robert Paul Westman to Robin M. Westman. A search of state court records show no criminal history for Westman, but some traffic citations in 2021. And digging deeper at this hour, as of today, there have been 44 school shootings in the United States this year, impacting both K through 12 and college campuses. According to reports by the Gun Violence Archive, these incidents have resulted in 18 deaths and left at least 74 others injured. Recent years have seen a sharp increase in school shootings. In 2024, there were at least 83 incidents, while 2022 was marked as one of the deadliest years, with with 47 fatalities. And as we just mentioned, school shootings have become a heartbreaking and terrifying reality. 44 News spoke to Vanderbilt County Sheriff Noah Robinson about the action they take when it comes to the tragic situations like this. He says that Vanderbilt County implements the safest protocols they can with the resources that they have.
Would I love to have more sheriff deputies in more schools? I absolutely would. I believe that increases the safety factor, but there's a cost associated with that. So we do the best that we can with the budget that we have.
Sheriff Robinson says the 4 school resource deputies for Vanderbilt County are highly trained and train with schools on a regular basis. The sheriff says he has the same thought in common with parents, students, teachers, and schools that they should be for learning and not worrying about guns in the building. Well, new tonight, 44 News did reach out to local Catholic dioceses regarding the mass shooting. Catholic Diocese of Evansville say they are shocked and deeply saddened by the tragedy. In a statement, they say while the tragedy did not occur within our schools, it serves as a painful reminder of the importance of vigilance, compassion, and care. The school district adds that they are reviewing safety protocols for both schools and churches to ensure every child is safe. And the Diocese of Owensboro also releasing a statement regarding that shooting today. It says in part, here at the Diocese of Owensboro, the safety of our students and staff remains a priority. Schools in our diocese have worked closely with local law enforcement to develop a safety plan for their location. The diocese recently hired a coordinator for safety and emergency operations who conducts regular risk assessments throughout the diocese. And while across the world, top leaders are sharing their condolences following the shooting. As we reported earlier, Pope Leo XIV says he's profoundly saddened to learn of the deaths and injuries from this mass shooting. The Pope is praying for the victims, first responders, and clergy, and sends his blessings to the school and community paroling. Well, back here in the Tri-State, if you're enjoying this wonderful weather the last couple of days, there is some good news. It is going to continue now into our holiday weekend, and meteorologist Carl Parker is tracking the latest on what you can expect.
Hi, Ben. It was not a beautiful day today with a fair amount of cloud cover, but it's been a really nice stretch in terms of temperature, and we're expecting more of the same going into the weekend and beyond. We're going to continue to see a northerly flow, and so the air is going to be a little bit drier, a little more comfortable. Temperatures generally in the lower 80s. That's going to continue right through the weekend. Just gorgeous weather this weekend, and then getting a little bit warmer as we move into the early part of next week, but then late next week, it could get even colder than anything that we have seen thus far. Now let's talk a little bit about what we're expecting for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, a chilly start. We're going to start out in the lower to middle 50s, maybe 54 in Jasper, 55 in Evansville, and 53 in Morganfield. We are expecting a fair amount of sun tomorrow, probably sunnier than it was today. Some high clouds coming through, but it should be a beautiful day for the most part tomorrow. There's a look at your forecast through tomorrow. Mix of clouds and sun, some higher clouds coming through, as I mentioned, topping out in the lower 80s. Another very nice day going into Friday as well, a little bit warmer, up to about 85. We'll talk more about the weekend and beyond coming up.
Thank you, Carl. An Owensboro doctor is facing charges after a victim came forward and told police he sexually assaulted her in his office. OPD says Dr. Sheldon Simon, a podiatrist, asked a patient if she was willing to clean his office. Authorities say the woman said she was homeless and could use the cash. But when she returned to clean, she told police that Sheldon asked for a back massage and then grabbed her hand and used it to pleasure himself. He's facing 1 count of sexual abuse. A warrant has been issued for the arrest of a 3rd person following the viral town hall meeting that happened last week in Warwick County. According to court records, probable cause was found Tuesday for Kelly Moore to be charged with battery on a public safety official in connection to the incident. Now, as previously reported, Amanda Bennett and Matthew Ike also arrested at that event. One deputy was requesting charges against Moore after they say she struck the deputy. Now, records do not indicate Moore has been booked in jail on those charges, but records show she will have a $10,000 surety or $1,000 cash bond. Well, coming up on 44 News, we head to Hopkins County, where a Tri-State Olympian helps unveil a new aquatic center. A look at the facility and the new programs being introduced to the community. Plus, one local business going dark in protest. How Arcademy is helping residents fight back against high utility bills. But first, taking a live look outside our 44 Skycam network on a cool, calm night across the tri-state. But don't worry, more of this wonderful weather we've been having this week going to continue tomorrow and beyond. Full check at your forecast to see just how nice it's going to be this Labor Day weekend. It's coming up after the break.